Death at the gates again. Howling my name. Can't reach you today. I have a war to win.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Wolfenstein, the New Order, Uber difficulty video walkthrough. This is the second part to chapter 12. We just hit a checkpoint, and as soon as you hit this corner, there's going to be a heavy, one of the, is it the super soldiers, I think they're called? These particular enemies die from a fully charged shot from this, just like that. If you choose to do a different strategy against him, you're just going to waste ammo and time. That is such a powerful and useful way to get rid of that enemy. Problem is, there's another one directly in the room after this dude. As I've mentioned, this is quite an enemy gauntlet, this level. So when you hack this, it's going to open with a H, because that's how that's spelt, this door here, and boom, there's another super soldier, and I do not have the charge to take him out. So as boring as it is, I'm going to run all the way back to the train, or the enemy like carrier thing, and I'm going to charge my weapon. And I recommend that you take advantage of every instance of terrible clipping and recharge centers, just because it saves bullets in the long run. And I kind of wish that you kept your equipment from level to level, a little bit like the old id kind of shooters, because that way, A, I would always have throwing knives because I love the buggers, but also B, it'd teach people to be more intelligent with their resources. And that's one of the things that I've always liked about of survival horror games. Even though they are getting less and less like survival horror, and less challenging, they're forcing people to manage their items and choose between using their last few bullets or fighting something more dangerously with their bare hands, or whatever the equivalent is in that game. And that is something I really like. This right here is kind of strange. I don't know why he couldn't see me just then, because the game has proven on several occasions that when I'm peeking around corners, I am still very visible and shootable, yet that dude was just having none of it. The shotgun's secondary function, the ball bearings, is really, really good. You haven't seen me use it at all in this walkthrough, and that's probably a mistake, because it seems to be a bullet shot that just hits everything. Like, you can fire it in a room, and it will hit somebody, just by the nature of how much it bounces, and it seems to be much more punishing than I ever gave it credit for, so I might be missing a trick here, not using the shotgun as much as perhaps I could have done. But that being said, I still have a decent time through the game, and there's only one more challenging firefight coming up, and it's one of those where if you die, it despawns the enemies for some strange reason. Oh wow, Enigma code! And obviously, because I've got the Enigma codes now, I've gone back through getting the collectibles. And somebody pointed out that the maps do show you where all the collectibles are, but you need to be aware, folks, there's a glitch with the maps, and I don't know if it's when you beat the game and you come back to the chapters or however it works, but maps will not show collectibles for some reason. I have maps that show them fine, I have other places where I have the maps and they don't show anything. It seems to be like a bugged mechanic. So if you're having issues seeing stuff on, you know, your map when you do have the damn map, it's not your fault, it's the game messing up. But right here, there's a ton of guys on the balcony across from me, and there's a couple in this room. And I use this piece of ventilation shaft to give myself some cover, and I'm going to poke out and use the lean until I can see dudes, and give them a small target to shoot at, give me a large target to shoot at, kind of strategy that I've used for the full game. But it is one of those interesting levels, and I can't help but be reminded of Batman Arkham Origins, because there's a bridge level on that. And I know bridge levels are kind of ubiquitous with games, you know, sewer level, bridge level, snow level, all that kind of stuff. But it just really reminds me of that, and I have no idea why. They're almost completely different with what they have you doing. It's just, when I was thinking about doing this commentary, I kept thinking about that is it Firefly, the boss of that area? I kept thinking about that dude. And then it reminded me that I really should pick up the DLC for Arkham Origins, because I really do like those Batman games, even though Origins is definitely a step down from Arkham City. And a lot of people have asked me if I'm if I have a PS4 or an Xbox One, or if I'm getting them. And I generally say the same thing. I don't have them, and there's no games on them at this moment in time that make me feel like they have to be purchased. Like, there's nothing making me buy that console for that game. And you're looking at somebody who bought... Ooh, do you see that just then? That was my pad semi-screwing me. I only barely made that jump. Ooh, an interesting thing too. The grab that this enemy does when you get close to him, on every difficulty, is a one-shot. I found that out the other day when I was picking up collectibles. I tried to run past him, I clipped like a motherfucker, he grabbed me, and he took off 190 life and 80 armor in one punch. So be very, very careful. Obviously, that guy just then, there's nothing you can do. He doesn't hurt you. It's meant to happen the way it just did. And the checkpoint here is a little bit challenging because it's before you jumped into the chopper, and you have to listen to this dude talk, and then you have to shoot a bunch of dudes and then jump off the chopper before they kill you. And the biggest threat here I found was the concussive force of the two rocket dudes that are on this little plateau, because they'll actually knock you out the other side of the chopper and you'll fall to your death. And once again, the trouble I was having here is every time I tried to run and jump onto the bridge while I was being shot at, my pad would aim, slow me down, and I would do a really gay little bunny hop and fall to my death. So, be very, very careful. Kill as many people as you can. Kill this dog. As soon as the dog is done, you want to jump across if you can. And then you'll immediately get a checkpoint. And did you see the cut just then? And now there's no rocket launcher guy? That's what happens, guys. I ended up getting killed by something strange, and then when I reloaded in, the rocket launcher dude had moved or despawned, because there's only one over there now. And my strategy here is save the fully charged scope shot of your laser gun on the rocket dude, and then use your marksman for everybody else, or whatever weapon you like to use. And hopefully your pad's a little bit better than this, because really frustrating me. Oh, that's a big shot. Here he is. That's the guy you want to get rid of. He's the dangerous one. And then everybody else now is just the war of attrition of poking around the car and cleaning up. But I was on a website the other day called sex.co.uk, and I know a lot of people are going to misunderstand what I mean by that. It's sex as in CEX, because it stands for something like Centre Entertainment Exchange or something daft, or Computer Entertainment Exchange. Here's me using the shotguns. And it's a site that essentially is kind of, you can trade shit in, you can sell stuff to them, and they sell it themselves. It's a game shop, and it's, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just one of those kind of cheaper ones that can sometimes have really good stuff, other times it can rip you off. And I was on its website the other day looking at its 360 games, and they were selling games for £0. Like £0, 0 pence. How the hell do you sell something for free? It was really confusing, and I went further through these prices, and they were selling games for insane amounts of money. Like, it's more expensive to ship the thing than it is what they're getting from it. And I was looking through a ton of them, and I think it was 70p by the time I got to the first good game, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was Prey. A lot of people don't like Prey, but I think it's a solid shooter. But then I got to stuff like, you know, Splinter Cell Double Agent, which is a fantastic game. It was £1. £1. I can't even catch the bus outside my door to get to town to buy the game from the shop at £1. Like, there was Fear 2, a game by Monolith that I adore. There was all sorts of titles, really good games that if you've not played, you can pick up for nothing. And it just makes me think, like, I can't imagine growing up in this generation of consoles, you know, being a young kid like I was when the Nintendo was around and the Mega Drive turned up and what have you, because I would be able to buy games when I was growing up. You got a game for your birthday and a game for Christmas, and that was pretty much the ones that you were super excited for, you know, all year. And, like, people can now buy proper games, none of this, you know, bullshitty games that we had on some of them consoles, which were barely games, for the same kind of money that people get for dinner, like dinner money at school. It's so strange. I'm sounding like an old man, but it's just bizarre to me. And the funny thing about that website is they sell the games super cheap on it, and then you go in store and they're not that cheap at all. It doesn't make any sense. But thank you for watching anyhow, and as always, you take care now.